Here I am with John Jackson Miller, year 2. We talked last year about Batman Resurrection.
Batman Resurrection.
That is correct. And now we're talking about Batman Revolution.
Revolution, book 2, second novel tying into the Tim Burton Batman movies.
Now, I'm glad you brought the books because I'm looking at these two, and I'm seeing a difference right away. This looks like some guy who's trying to prolong the magic. You didn't want to give this up.
Well, no, I didn't. Part of it is, Gotham City, you want to extend your stay. Particular story, we have our version of the Riddler as we think he would have been. This is the first novel was a mystery. The second novel has mysteries plural. We have a Riddler who is unique to perhaps this version of Batman. Considers himself to be the greatest living detective. Matching wits with both as friend and foe with Bruce Wayne as Batman. And we in order to actually spin a story that has these kinds of mysteries to unravel, you need pages. And I spoke to my editor, and he said, absolutely, nobody is going to complain.
He's 100% right.
Yeah, Tom Holler has been the editor of these books. Just right from the beginning, he's been completely supportive with the decisions we've made. So book 2 is a good 550 pages. Gives us a nice big 950-page epic here between the two.
Absolutely. How much fun was it writing the smartest man in the room?
Yeah,
all those riddles, all those jokes, his humor.
Yeah, what I wanted to do was do what we did with Revolution, with Resurrection. I've been doing that all the time, which is we wanted to actually match the Tim Burton Michael Keaton movies mood. There's a sadness to a number of the characters that they're all working out their psychological issues on the landscape of this city, often with heavy weapons, often doing much destruction. Everything is a psychological test for them. And I wanted to create a character that, like Clayface in our first book, would have a logical reason to turn the way he does, like Catwoman in Batman Returns, like Penguin in Batman Returns, have logical reasons to go the way that he does. And I think that one of the hallmarks of the Burton movies are that Batman is sometimes the second or third villain character in terms of amount of screen time. And we kind of do that in both of these books, where we really get to go into these rogues gallery characters and develop them fully, and then have them collide with Bruce Wayne and Alfred. They're a team working together, and we see what happens.
Yeah. Speaking of filling characters, there's so many characters in this book. There's a lot going on.
Oh yes.
We get a lot of foreshadowing with Max Schreck and Selina Kyle.
That's absolutely right. I approached the first novel saying, since we're between Batman and Batman Returns, we can use any character who's still around in Batman Returns. We just can't have Selina Kyle meet Bruce Wayne. But certainly we have the seeds from that second movie of a rivalry between Bruce Wayne and Max Schreck. We would definitely see them a lot. Because we have carried on from the first movie. Alexander Knox is a major player in both books, probably even larger a player in the second book than he was in the first. Robert Will's character is just the easiest one to write of any of the characters.
I was going to say,
in the series.
Of all the voices, when I'm reading the book, of all the voices that just come to my brain immediately when reading, Robert Wool as Knox is in everything.
Absolutely. And, when I was reviewing the movie for my college paper in 1989, the first time I saw it, I was in training to be a journalist, and I was also kind of a smart aleck. And so that very much fit me. That was the character that I would identify with. So we definitely get a lot of Knox in this book. And again, it is fun having these characters, that we have seen, giving them more screen time, giving them more page time, and then again we have all these other characters in the Rogues Gallery The first book has a surprise villain that we still don't talk about.
Correct.
And then the second book continues in that tradition. And if anybody would have tried to go to Vegas and bet on what characters would appear in the second book, they'd have been wrong. So
the Kalshi betting app is like. Let's talk about some of the Easter eggs.
Yes.
Nick and Eddie.
Yes, and they have, and they do so again. These are the two guys at the beginning of the Batman movie. The I want you to tell all your friends about me, guys. I just looked at them and I said, all right, they're part of the landscape of Gotham City. They're just two of the very few people in the movies that are pure civilians. They're not representative of the police or of the newspaper or anything else. They are just street level hoods. And I wanted to, with both of these books, show what it was like to live in Gotham City with Batman in operation and how they actually have changed. How they do things, how their lives have been changed by the fact that Bruce Wayne is out there doing what he's doing. And so they're fun to have show up.
My favorite Easter egg, there's a line towards the end of the book when Knox is struggling with the Riddler's identity. And you wrote a line. It says it will be a sorry newsroom indeed if a guy can fool them just by wearing glasses.
I don't know what that could possibly be in reference
I
to.
love that. I stopped reading to laugh out loud.
One of the very fun things about going back and watching these movies is that, there are characters that are on screen that you will realize when you look at the book, well, this could be that person. I mean, there is in the original Batman, Robert Wool calls out for somebody from Copy, a copy boy, to help get the news about Smilex that Batman said in the print. It's a guy in front of a filing cabinet. Not necessarily our guy, but maybe it is. But anyway, it is so much fun to be able to sort of tie together some of these things, tie up a loose end here or there. And, we've got, in the case of, both books, the books do not exist to, none of the books that we do in tie-in fiction exist to fix the source material or address plot holes or whatever. But we do. And, again, I was just doing a wonderful signing with Michael Uslan yesterday of the earliest release we did here. The book doesn't come out until the 21st of October, but he signed my copy of Batman Revolution, and he thanked me for smoothing out some of the rough edges of the film, because in the process of the movie making, there are often threads that are not followed up on, or minor continuity bits here and there. And of course, it was one of those that helped inspire Resurrection. Literally, I'm writing about it in my college newspaper review in 1989. Hey, where did those guys in the cathedral come from? But anyway, again, these stories are more, though, than just an attempt to tie together things or just draw connections. In particular, I think Revolution has a unique perspective in that it really looks at some of the problems that Gotham City has. We know that Gotham City has a financing problem. It's bankrupt. We know that they're very concerned about crime in this city. We know that we have in Bruce Wayne, obviously, he has decided that he is not satisfied with the level of service he's been receiving from the police force all the way back to what happened to his parents. And we also have elements of suggestions of other unrest outside of Gotham City. Corto Maltese was brought in the first film. And so even though we remain in Gotham City, the snow globe, the sort of Anton First styled, claustrophobic, realm that we get in the films, Even though we don't leave that in either book, the same way that neither movie leaves that area in the book. We do kind of have Gotham City writ large for the rest of the world. And so in Revolution, one of the things we do is where we dealt with the underground, or rather the underworld in the first book, we get into the underground, the political life of some of the movements in Gotham City. And again, some of them are comically strange, as you would expect them to be in a Tim Burton film. So the goal is to make it all rhyme and sort of feel like it fits in this place that is sort of time lost. It's somewhere between 1939 and 1989, and there's a little of everything in there.
Now, I know you spoke with Nissan and you were developing this. We gave you that analogy about Batman through the decades of films. Did you get to work with Burton at all in developing?
I did not. He's doing many more things of his own. But certainly what I've been doing all along, I went back and looked at things I already had. I had earlier scripts and things like that. So we brought in bits and pieces and names. A couple of characters that were only named in the Craig Shaw Gardner novels, the novelizations came in. And then I looked, as I did with the first book, I looked at all the previous appearances, or most of the previous appearances, of our guest villains, and particularly the more obscure ones that I bring in, to find out, okay, well, what is the version of them that is most likely to rhyme, or most likely to fit with, what Burton was doing. And what Burton is doing, he's definitely pulling golden age, Batman with a gun era versions of things. So we don't have our Clayface was not the CGI Clayface of later years, because it wouldn't have been such a thing. But also that wouldn't have been his style. He would have been more likely had a much more tragic Phantom of the Opera, freak show, Universal monster style character for Clayface. Again, likewise for the other characters that we've had. Again, our Riddler is somebody else who has many different voices that he uses, many different personas that he affects, and a lot of this has been suppressed in him for so many years. And this book is about the sequence of events that cause all that to bubble up in him and explode. And Gotham City reaps the whirlwind, and so we get a what we call the long hot summer of Gotham City. We had Christmas and Batman Returns. Here, everything leads to July 4th.
At the end of the book, when you're making your acknowledgments, you talk about how much fun you've had. Oh, yes. Living under the cowl and writing this world. I have a suggestion. We all know about Burton's third planned film, Batman Continues. As far as I know, there is no novelization.
Well, that's actually, I did look at the name of the film when I was trying to figure out how to actually construct the names of these. And I was like, well, I couldn't quite find the right verbs. And then we said, okay, well, let's just riff on the RE from Returns. And when I found out there had never been a Batman story called Resurrection, other than Resurrection of Ra's al Ghul, right? And no Revolution, not even a dance video game. For Batman, I'm like, okay, we got to do this. There's a number of threads out there. I mean, there's a Catwoman movie that didn't get made. There's a number of other things. Anything is possible, and I'm willing to say that now in a way that I wasn't several years back, when I certainly never imagined that we could have licensed just the two Burton movies as our source material. In today's licensing world, who knows?
Well, your joy and your adoration of the source material comes through in the books. They're a great read, and I hope you get the chance to do it again.
I do appreciate it. Thanks very much.
Thank you so much for talking. Enjoy the rest of the conference.